Good afternoon, my people. Sorry it took so long to get back to y'all, but like I told y'all before, this is not my life. I'd rather not be doing this, but I am so sick and tired of the lies that Mr. Brian been telling y'all. And that's what I'm gonna call him from now on. Brian, our federal agent, Brad. Brad Keith Henderson. Oh, y'all don't know that name. That's the name they gave him. Brad Keith Henderson. But y'all know him as Brian Gibbs. I'm going to start this off by showing y'all something. I got to come a little closer to the camera because you might not can't see. This is from a publishing company who was supposed to do the book when he first started. This is dated 1997. You remember this, Brian? This is the work that they did for him for the second quarter. I ain't never even read it or get to it yet. But Mr. Brian, all of these are transcripts and cooperation paper that he's have done. I got a damn bag full of shit that I just haven't gone through yet. But Mr. Glaze, Brad Henderson, I'm coming at you right now because, man, I gave you the opportunity to take the shit down. But no, you want to get back up here and continue to tell your psychopath lies. What is it going to take, bro? And every lie you tell, you hold up the book. You was a big con man, bro. A real clown. You conning the people. Everything they want to know is about you in this book. You keep holding up that bullshit book. You're saying that you's an open book. If you's an open book, how come you won't tell details of your cooperation? Why? Why is that? Just answer that question. Could it be? No, you did never testify. But you gave up so much information that there was no need for people to testify. You made people cooperate. You made people take on plea bargains. So really, the government didn't need you. What is an Article 5? See, I never knew what an Article 5 in the feds meant. A 5K? Or a 35K? What do that mean, Brian? Explain to your viewers what that means. Explain how you sold your soul to get out. Explain who killed 6 people or orchestrated the murder of 6 people and only do 1 year and 6 months for each murder. Very interesting. You plead to 10 years and did 8 years, 8 months. You did 2 months in population amongst the killers and the Bloods and the Crips and all that other. And the other 8 years and 6 months you did in protected custody with your pink thong on, right? Remember that? You won't tell that. You act like you was in a hard knocks prison. And tell me this, bro. Why do you try to downplay the credibility of all these other good men, brother, that you be talking about? Like Little D, like Demencio, like Ken Do, Calvin Klein, and the list goes on. Everybody you tries to undermine who's about their money, getting money, and who's never been on the witness stand, who's never cooperated with the government. And now you're trying to flip the game. You're trying to flip the game, making people think everybody does this. Everybody snitch one time or another. No, that's not factual. It would never ever be factual. You probably got your 20% like you, who sells their soul to come home. You knew the rules of the game, bro, when you got into it. You knew the rules. You wanted to be uno numero, right? Number 1. And you was never that. You was never close to that. Because one thing I can tell you, bosses don't go work for nobody else. Bosses are bosses. Bosses run their own operation. You understand? In 1997, after your acquittal, what did you do? You ran to Queens from June of 1990, June of 1987 to to August of 1988, you ran to Queens, right? And you got caught up in that crowd. And you was a worker for Cat. You was a underboss. You oversee his operation, and you was his enforcer. You ran up and down the state, visiting him wherever jail he was in. You took care of all his dirty work. You killed one of his baby mama in the front of their 1-year-old son. You remember that? What kind of person does that? Kills a lady in the front of her kids. You know who does that? Somebody named Brian Gibbs does that. You know why he does that? Because he wanted a paycheck. Really a sad thing, bro. But your life is an open book. I mean, did you get the details about that? No, I don't think you did. I never read your corny book. I read that one chapter about me. That story done changed over and over. I was on the roof. I was going to the car when you caught up to me. I mean, bro, you're a real sick soul. And hey, let the people know. Is Cool scared of you? No, not today, not back then, never was. Because what you don't know is what I had in place. I ain't never wanted to kill my mother's son. But I always had people lined up that if you ever did anything to me, because once you're dead, you can't come back for it. But it was always in place that if you ever did anything to me, to out your ass. So you know what? And let's tell the truth about who not messing with who. Since 2019, when I came back from New York and asked you, hey, what's up with the payment? You made every excuse in the world why you couldn't keep up with $100 and $200 payment a month. You know, come on, who does that? You know, you were still paying your car insurance, right? So I ain't want to hear this shit no more. And I bought you out. I said, you know what? You keep that shit, and you know, you bought out of my life. And that was the way it rocks. You understand? And I used to always wonder why every time I damn come around you, you want to take a picture with me, like I'm a damn celebrity. You understand? But you understand? I add credibility to you. That's what it is. You understand? Always. You ain't never seen me posted a picture of you and me nowhere, you understand, from later on in life. You understand? Especially once I knew about this paperwork. You ain't never seen no paperwork. You understand? Because guess what? I wish you was in my mother's son. You heard me? I wish you was in my mother's son. And that's real. 1000% real. So don't think my feelings ever hurt. You understand? That you don't mess with me. And guess what? You say if I'm at a family event, you ain't coming. Guess what? I'm going to be at all of them. So stay your ass away, clown. Alright? Alright. You should have never told me that, because now I'm going to make it my business to be at all of them. Like, who you hurting? You ain't hurting me. You know I don't fuck with you. That's why you don't fuck with me. Right? Hey, listen. But one thing I want to know. You always been easy to influence. Somebody called you from jail one time and you killed a friend, a good friend of yours. You ain't even never questioned the man about, yo, is this true? What's going on? You just called and had the man killed. So damn, man, friends like you, who needs enemy? Really? Man, I mean, you's a real nutcase. A real nutcase. And then we talks about, and you talking about when you, I mean, I saw it on one of your episodes, you talking about when you was on the run, you wanted to go get plastic surgery. So why didn't you get plastic surgery? Talk about you had somebody lined up and they was gonna do it, but they knew who you was. So that must be was in New York that you was gonna do it, but you knew who it was. What happened in California? What happened in Miami? What happened with going out of the country getting it done? You know why you didn't get it done? Because you ain't have the money. This $40,000 a day dude didn't have the money. Because you're not known all over the world. You're not known all over the world. So why didn't you have it done? Why? And matter of fact, another question. You had a 60 days jump. They raided that apartment in August the 11th, and I believe you got picked up November the 11th. Why didn't you run north? Why didn't you go across the border? Why? You had all this money that nobody know where it went after you got locked up. So what happened? What you do with it? The government never sees a dime from you. Remember you say Biden testified that they let you keep 35 million? Where did this money go? Where did this miracle money go? I mean, help me out. I would like to get some of it. 35 million, boy, you was doing good for yourself. In that fairy tale dream of yours. And then, in another episode, you talk about after your son was born, you was looking into getting a bulletproof car. I mean, this shit is hilarious. A bulletproof vehicle. With what money? You never owned a new car. Where was you gonna get money for a bulletproof vehicle from? Oh, you had contacted Preem team and to get it. Boy, you just one clown, man. I mean, the shit that you say. And if I didn't know you, man, I probably would believe some of this shit too. Wow. I mean, but I know where you get some of your shit from. I mean, you know, when you was locked up back in Kaksaki and Fishkill Reed and Donna Goins' book, I used to like those books too. But he let you know it's fiction. You don't. I mean, how about the story about, supposed to be in your book, about when we all went to the Tyson Spinks fight? You had sex with one of these boxer wife. I don't know. I mean, this was told to me. So any of y'all who got that corny ass book, y'all will see. Now, I'm going to tell you another story, y'all. If a man is lying about having sex with a woman, at a grown man, how could you give his story any credibility? Me, D Nice, Herm, it was all at that fight with him. Nobody got no ass because we didn't go to get no ass, you understand? We all was capable of it, but we didn't go get no ass. And he wants y'all to believe that he had sex in the bathroom. A grown-ass man having sex in the bathroom at a hotel casino full with tens of thousands of people. I mean, come on, be for real. How realistic is that? Everything is overcrowded. He ain't tell y'all he had a suite and he took the chick to the thing. And listen, what I'm saying is that's some real foul shit. Now, whoever the box is, if he ever read that shit, don't you know it could be repercussion from the girl if they married, divorced, you know, if they girlfriend, boyfriend, you know, separation. I mean, this dude's a real clown. A real clown. Who does that? Know who does that? Brian Gibbs. Yeah. Hey, and then you say something else about the first body you ever caught was because of me. You love your brother. How could the first body you ever caught because of me when your dumb ass already said you didn't even know you was gonna do it? That don't make no sense. Definitely to me it don't. I don't know if TV land it makes sense. Your first body was because of your brother. Wow. I was in your brain, right? I said, Glaze, kill that girl. And why is it that you only pull the trigger on girls? When it's dudes, you get somebody else to do it. Sad case, brother. And I believe that the young lady had about 3 or 4 kids. But you killed her. Why you didn't kill the dude? Huh? Why? And remember you were trying to claim that spot, talking about, oh, that spot is yours? I don't think nobody in Kingsborough know you. I mean, if they do know you, they know you as cool brother. But that spot is yours. And matter of fact, you remember one day you left from over there, you wanted an ounce of coke, and I gave it to you, and you was driving your black and gray Seville, and you got close to the projects and got stopped. And how that ounce of cocaine in aluminum foil turned into 9 ounces of heroin. I saw that episode. I mean, help me understand that. From an ounce of cocaine that I personally sold to you turned into 9 ounces of heroin. Boy, you got an imagination on your ass. I mean, help me understand. I sold it to you. I remember that day. They stopped you on Euclid and what's that? Euclid and Dumont, Euclid and Belmont, they stop you on. And your ass ran to the house. I remember that. And when you ran to the house, you go, man, you shouldn't have gave it to me. Why you gave it to me there? I mean, he's a pathetic criminal. Pathetic. And you strapped up with your bulletproof vest and the guns, like if you gonna go to war with them, if they came to the crib or catch you wherever. You remember that? I do. But, just another example of your lying. You want motherfuckers to think you couldn't afford a brand new car, but you could afford to have 9 ounces of dope. And I wasn't even into dope, but you somehow got 9 ounces of dope back in '86. This was a couple of months before you caught that body. But you had a spot on Ralph and Pacific. Sad clown, boy. Sad. Then another thing, bro. You talk about me doing just 2 years. I mean, and you talk about D been in jail since 2001. And that's the difference. When did I left New York? I left New York in 1992. You remember that? Or you forgot that? So anything that D continued to do after I left, I knew nothing about. I left New York. And then you throw Peter Shue in. Yeah, Peter Shue. When Peter Shue went to jail, 95 or 96, I was already out in New York for a couple of years. And plus, me and Peter Shue only hung out, went to parties, went to ball games together. We ain't never conduct no business together. So it would have been nothing I could tell about him. Because guess what? It's a difference between me and you. I don't go into the details of nobody else's business because it don't matter. Me and my boy Jesus hung hard. Used to be together a couple times a week gambling. That's all we knew about each other. That was my dog from Cyprus, you understand? You know, we started off in the hallways of the projects gambling. And then we'll be in his stores, you understand, gambling for hours. You understand? $100,000 sometime between the two of us. Back and forth. But now, all of a sudden, they did 15 years and 20 years, and why I only did 4. I'm honored to only had there 4 years, bro. I'm honored. That was 4 years too many I gave to them. 4 years too many. And about a hit on D. What the hell do I know about a hit on D? You understand? That was my brother. He will always be more of a brother to me than you ever was, bro. Always. You know why? Because he ain't jealous. He don't envy nothing I have. You understand? You's a jealous ass person, bro. You envy people relationship. That's why I guess you put rough name in your paperwork, because the closeness of him and Pappy. That's why you killed Sybil, because the closeness of Carl and Clyde. You understand? I mean, you just miserable. I mean, I saw an episode of yours when you said your moms used to call you a big shot poor nigga. Yeah, that was true. But how about this one that she used to say to you? You miserable, and you want everybody around you to be miserable. When I read those statements that you gave about all the people and the things about Gibbs had went beyond the scope of what we ever asked him to do, that shit just came back full circle, that your mother know you better than anybody. She knew as a young kid that you was a miserable lost soul, and that when you mad, you want everybody else mad. So when I read that statement, when it came back to me, you was in jail and you wanted everybody else to be in jail with you. You's a lost puppy, boy. And matter of fact, you probably don't even need to be equal to a puppy. You's a lost soul. Get your life together, man. Stand up. Stop faking. And matter of fact, you talk about redemption. Let's do some real redemption around here. Some real redeeming. Stop having these people send you Cash App. And for every profit you make off your book, how about giving it to the victim families? That would be some real redemption. That would be the real start. How about doing that? You know, let's see how much energy you have. And bro, you talking about helping the youth and all of that. Bro, who do you mentor? I mean, I think since 97 you probably talked in the front of a church 8 to 10 times, maybe. And small churches at that. Outside of that, what boys club or girls club have you been to? What schools have you been to? Let's be realistic, bro. Your mentoring is for your pocket, you understand? Your redemption is for your pocket. You understand? You's a con man. That's all it's about. Every time you look, oh, everything you want to know, go to this book. It's right here. How many times you done changed that, bro? Like I said, I got a bag full of shit that you wrote in 1997, and I guarantee that whole book done changed since then. I guarantee you. You was paying to have that work published since 1997. Where was you getting the money from? You know where? Witness protection. They was paying you. They was paying you. For all that damn information you was giving them, they was cutting you a check. I mean, you still got a good life. You work under Brian, you work under Bradford Henderson, so what's that, a W-4? And you got your Brian Keith Gibbs shit through the 1099. So how that work out when we filing taxes? How it works out? Can't answer that one, could you? Okay, man. But like I say, man, when you want to tell a story, learn to tell more truth than lies. Because your whole life is a big lie. Whole life. 30% truth, 70% fiction. Okay? Now, if you have really told your story and put your agreement, put all the people you snitched on in it, then it will really be a bestseller. But you always want to get up, go to Vlad TV, you know, bringing up my wife in your last episode. But like I say, bro, if I was you, I wouldn't do that, man. You've been married 4 times with 4 different women. You understand? And you done been divorced 4 times. I mean, you change wives like some people change cars. Every couple of years, you need a new wife. You know why? Because they tired of your crazy ass. You understand? I mean, I know your last wife carried you and your second wife carried you. You understand? Because these was time. I mean, you was a jackass. You was promoted from part-time worker in UPS to a full-time supervisor, capable of making a 6-digit figure with benefit for life. And you fucked that up. What a clown are you? You understand? What a clown. Who does that? Over your emotion. I mean, you a real stupid bastard. You know that? Real. And then, why you always bringing up my son, man? Bless Moet. I don't bring up your kids. You a fan of his? If you is, just go to his page and hit the like button. You don't gotta keep mentioning his name. He don't mention yours. He know what a lie you is. Because some of that story you done told, you understand? He went back and asked his mom. He didn't even ask me. He asked his mom. Did this happen? Y'all was coming out the crib and my dad tripped and he pulled a gun on him. You know? No, but you know what? She knew you shot at the door with our 3-month-old daughter in the house. She knew you shot through the window at that. You know, you proud of shit like that, right? Is you proud of that? I ain't never did that shit to your daughter. I ain't never did that shit with your son in the house. Ain't gonna talk about, I picked up the phone calling my mother crying. You understand, bro? I ain't got nothing to cry over you about, you understand? Unless I was spilling your blood, you understand? I wouldn't have been crying for you. I'd have been crying for my mother. So that's the only reason why you ain't never get it. Because I cared about my mother. Never you. Because whatever you brought to me, I was gonna bring back to you. Okay? So let's cut the bullshit out. We see each other throughout the years. You don't act this damn tough guy with me, you understand? I mean, you do a couple of push-up and chin-up dips and you think you hard, always going like this. But you know, what happened to the time when your wife and you and her uncle and mother was down here? I pulled up on your ass, you understand? You wasn't acting like no real tough and gangster dude that day. Right? Right. And I only pulled up because you always acting like you so mean and bad and tough. So if anybody know you and anybody who's not scared of you, it's me. Right? Right. And you don't like that shit because you don't move me. But you know what? The streets are really scared of you, man. They really scared of you, man. I didn't talk to a couple of people and I was telling them I'm coming to the hood real soon and I want to talk about you. But they're afraid of you, man. And not like you think they are. They're afraid of you because they know the agent you is. They know you work for the feds, bro. That's what's scared of you. That's real sad, bro. When motherfuckers are scared to talk about you because they don't want their life fucked up. That's sad. That's some sad shit, bro. But I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to do what you don't do. When I go to New York, I'm going in those hoods. And I'm going to get some Glaze story. You understand? We're going to find out if your ass was really what you say you is. We know what those police that you work for and what's his name, Ponzi. We know what they say on that documentary. We know what they say about you. But you understand, they just want to close cases. I know this. You was averaging supposed to be a murder a week. So how do you only cop out to 6? You know, you sold your soul. So if you was doing a murder a week, you would cop out to 52 murders, right? But no, you only cop out to 6 because they was hyping you more than you is. But see, people who's not in the street life don't know this. They don't know a sham when they see one. And your life is a sham, bro. You getting credit for shit that you didn't do. You getting credit for money that you didn't make. You getting credit for things that don't exist with you. All right? And let's tell the truth. Why did these people stay off your ass from the street? It wasn't because of your older brother. It wasn't because of his partner, the crew he ran with. It was all because of Big Bad You, right? Don't believe the hype. You had a bunch of shorties running with you. We had grown men's with us. Grown men's that used to ask, could they come with you a couple of times? You understand? So let's stop playing games. And we're going to talk about InfoMine. How long ago I tried to get in contact with InfoMine and let them know that half of that shit that you putting on is not real. I put it on their page. He kindly took it down and text me and say, yo, don't come on his page with that. He's a businessman. I mean, what kind of dude is that? I mean, so I've been trying to get the story out. When I came across your paperwork back in 2012, 2013, you know what I did? In case you don't know by now, I took that shit to Cyprus. I gave it to Jesus. I gave it to Rick. I gave it to a couple people. I gave it to one of your wives just so they would know how disgusting your ass is. You understand? But you stole that paperwork. And matter of fact, I gave it to your boy Kev. And didn't he send it to you? Didn't he send it to you? So you know. You know. Man, you need to really get your shit together. But your life is an open book. And let's talk about that third wife of yours that you try to choke out. We want to talk about that. That you had to go to court and get on trial. You understand? You beat the case, but you had to go to trial for it because you tried to choke her. You got her bruised up, her neck, all of that. And I mean, you're right. Under Brian Keith Gibbs, you would have been under the jail, but you went to trial under Bradford Keith Henderson. So let's not play games. You're only fooling yourself. And matter of fact, maybe I'll get the paperwork for that. And anybody in Aurora, Colorado, y'all probably could look it up. Denver, Colorado, y'all probably could look up that case. I think it was back in 2013. So who you playing with? Who you playing with? See, you playing with somebody who got a brain too. And this ain't no tick for tack. So all your fans out there who think I want something done to you, I don't want nothing done to you. I'm just gonna tell the truth. I mean, when you made a deal with the government, you had family living in Cyprus. You had family living throughout New York City. You never once told us that you made a deal. You never once. You said, oh, I ain't take the stand. I ain't have to tell on nobody. But meanwhile, in this paperwork, you're giving up information about Herm, your right-hand man. You're giving him his phone number. At first, you was hesitant to do it, but then you went along and did it. You gave up your stepbrother Country. Country, one day get at me, man. Really, really get at me, bro. You understand? Because, it was a shame when they both came home, Country and Hit. They kind of stayed away from me. They kind of played me from a distance because they thought I knew the disgusting shit that you had did. That was a crime in itself. That was terrible, horrible. But you an open book. Everything you need to know, go to that corny ass book. Nah, bro. How many editions of that book do you got, bro? How many editions? You know? I mean, now you acting like you got a chapter of them with me driving in New York, talking to federal prosecutors and all that. And guess what? Hear me clear, people. I did go to New York back in 2000 or 2001, June, to talk to some federal prosecutor. Now ask, how did they get in touch with me? Through no other than Agent Brian. Agent Brian called my house out of the blue work and talking about, yo, these people talking about indicting you for some old shit, you understand? I say, well, fuck it, let them indict me. You understand? He hung up a couple of days later and called back, said, yo, man, I told these people I'll sell my house, whatever, to get you the best lawyer, whatever, you understand? I mean, so let's cut the bullshit. Now, had I read those damn paperwork before that, I would have never went, because I would have knew it was a setup. I would have knew it was a setup. But again, I hadn't seen this paperwork. Even though it was in my storage room, I had not seen it. So y'all believe what you want to believe. But the people out there who know me, they know me. And guess what? Why have my name never ever surfaced in nobody else's paperwork over all these years you talking about? You talking about like I picked up at the fight? And it wasn't a Frank Bruno and Tyson fight. It was the Razor Ruddock and Tyson fight back in 91, June of 91. That's what it was. And I got picked up for a parole violation, jackass. So what the hell would I be talking to some federal agent or anybody else for a parole violation? You know what? See, you know I ain't in touch with D, so you trying to use that as that. But you know what? He stayed out there for 4 days trying to get me out. But I had a parole hold. So no amount of money couldn't get me out. But now, all of a sudden, after I post a picture of Jesus and Peter's shoe and all them, you look through the pictures and now you bringing up these names that I told on and on people and why I only did 2 years. Bro, you know my first bid I did 31 months. My second bid from a parole violation I did 19 months, but you said a couple of months. You understand? I did a total of 4 years. And you know what? I'm happy all I gave those people is 4 years out of my life. You know what? The difference between me and you is you always was a dumb criminal. Always. How many felonies you had in your first your week? When you turned 16, you already had 2 felonies because you tried to rob somebody 2 different times for a total of $25. So at 16, you had 2 felonies for $25. What a jackass, bro. You always was dumb. You understand? I mean, that's why I never used to let you hang with me. You got out of the house when you was 15 years, 8 months. You understand? I mean, and it was a condition why you got out of the house. Remember you used to suck these 2 fingers? Remember? And one of the agreement was to stop sucking your fingers and you could come and I'll let you hang. Stop sucking your fingers and pee in the bed. Remember all that plastic we used to keep on the bed? Remember? But I ain't gonna go too far into that. So stop acting like you've been out the house since 14, bro. You've been going to Bethania Baptist Church, you understand, up until you was 16, and there's no harm with that because I went to, you know, probably till I was 15, whatever. So, you know, and shout out to Bethania, you know, but just like I say, man, we was raised right, but you just took a totally left turn, bro. You went against the grain, you went against everything, you understand, we ever was taught in the streets, you understand? And you say, you know, you got an episode with Cat and Pappy about their mother, about how Cat took the deal to spare his mother jail time and Pappy didn't. And you know what, bro? You know I love my mother dearly. I love her more than you ever know. And I really do think, you understand, you would have fucking let her go to jail too, you understand? Lucky she was smart enough not to ever get caught up in this, you understand? So she ain't never had that to worry about. But you know what? When I saw you do that piece, you know, and this is only after the last couple of days when I've been studying what to say on this, you understand? You know what? I could have saw you being a pappy, you understand? And not for honor, but just to save your ass. Pappy did it for honor, you understand? Because he just wasn't with it by no means necessary. Your coward ass would have let our moms go to jail. And you know what? Tell these people why when they raided that crib in August 1988, why everybody in that house didn't go to jail. You know why? Because nobody was in that house. You know why? Because when I came home in March of 1988, that was the address that I was paroled to. That was the address that my parole officer used to knock on the door. And your guys used to come to the door, you understand, gun down and bulletproof vests on, you understand, because, you understand now, my parole officers used to ask me when I go visit, why when I go there, they can't open the door, or won't open the door. And I go, I don't know, I wasn't there, sir, you know. So I came back with a plan from the next visit and told y'all, yo, they might raid this house because he's asking questions, serious questions. But your dumb ass would have had all these young guys up getting caught up in there with all the drugs, all the guns, you understand, that y'all stupid ass used to have around. And they had a terrible leader in you. So that's the reason why within a week or two you moved out. You moved your little corny operation out. But that was a headquarters. A Cypress Hills apartment was your headquarters. What a poor leader you was. Hey, then you got a story out, man, about when you made American Most Wanted. I mean, yo, when was this? I mean, the stories that you got is damn unbelievable. When did you ever made American Most Wanted? I mean, what year, what month? You understand? I want to look that shit up. I saw you got an episode with that shit on. You just got too much shit for me to watch. You understand? And I wouldn't dare watch all your dumb shit because who knows better than me? It's a lie. Okay, so when that, and then you talk about somebody named Old Man Danny from Queens, that cat, you understand, took over the operation for, what the hell you know about some Old Man Danny? You wasn't out there then, so what would you know? You got a story coming out about him. What would you know about Old Man Danny? Again, a dude who only been in Queens from June 1987 till the first week of August 1988. How come this dude got so much story about Queen? You know why? Because his imagination, his ears are big, his brain is wide with remembering shit like an elephant, you understand? That, and then he just makes up his part. He got so much story about the Supreme Team, this one basis, this one, and he don't know half these people. He probably heard of them, like me. I know some of them. But you don't hear me running around talking about it or them because their business is their business. Like every man, every woman business should be their business. They shouldn't. I mean, this dude want to be 50 Cent. Hashtag 50 Cent. Hashtag Jay-Z. Hashtag this one. You understand? Get a fucking life, man. Really, get a life. Stop trying to create your buzz off of somebody else. I mean, I ain't never see a human being do the shit that you do for views, for likes, for subscription. You is pathetic. It's sad that I even met you. Really. Disappear. Go to Russia somewhere. Go tell your story over there. Like Father, Like Son episode. Check out that one. Like Father, Like Son episode. Our pops, you understand? I don't own them, but he got that 70, 80 something year old man smoking a cigar and gonna talk about neither one of them really smoke. So what kind of fool is this dude really? Every Sunday, every other Sunday, y'all see him. Motherfucker, inhale that shit. Stop blowing it out. Inhale it. Be a man. Be the man that you want to be. Do that. I mean, you's a coward. A 10-year-old kid could do that. And matter of fact, you got an episode of a 10-year-old kid who got, a young kid who got 50 years. Damn, that kid was more honorable than you was. That kid took that 50 like a adult, and your coward ass tucked your tail between your legs. Wow. I mean, bro, really, stop the bullshit, man. you are really affecting a lot of people who stood up for their causes. Fathers, sons, uncle, cousins. You even got some people, moms, sisters, daughters, nieces, who stood up and didn't tell on nobody because they knew they was part of an operation. I mean, you really doing them a disservice and dishonor by talking that bullshit. Everybody snitch. Everybody makes a deal. You understand? I mean, really. That shit is crab shit, man. Crab shit. So I'm here for the real, man. I'm here for the ones that didn't make the deal. That, you know, they took their medicine and handled it. And yo, I'm with that shit. If you ain't never been involved in crime, don't get involved. I hate it hates me. And you know one thing, bro? I'm down here in Moncks Corner, South Carolina, true. But I be in North Charleston, and you ask anybody who ever rolled up on me and say, yo, I saw you on YouTube, I saw you on your brother's stuff. And ask them what the first thing I said, don't believe that shit. I've been telling people that for years. Believe that shit if you want. Believe that shit if you want. Don't believe that shit. It ain't all it's made out to be. You know, my son was about 15, 16, and he came to me and go, Dad, why you ain't never used to tell me you was the man in the street? And I say, son, that shit ain't all what it made out to be. If that was so true, son, we'll still be doing that. Don't get caught up in that. Don't get caught up in that. That shit is all an illusion. You know what? Because I'm about really talking to the youth, saving them. Because again, I know it's characters like you. They want to get involved in the game and then change the rules after they get caught. The game is to play to be win. Who, you know, I mean, you want to change the rules. You want to be the man, but then you want to be the punk too. It don't work that way. It's either you pick a side, the right side or the wrong side. You want to be a law-abiding citizen, which everybody should be. That's coming from my mouth. Be that. One thing you don't do is start something that you can't finish. If you get in it, get out before you get caught. Get out before you have to flip on somebody. Don't be a Brian Gibbs. I mean, that's the most shameful kind of person to be. Don't be him. Be like some of the honorable ones who never took that route, who did the 9 to 5, who got careers. And remember who you stole that from. That was an episode in 1998 that we did at Bethesda Baptist Church. I gotta find that DVD. But you sound so much like me when you be speaking some of these episodes. Oh, my mother. Any good thing I ever got out of my life was from my mother. Any negativity was from the street. Boy, did you know how to steal people's words. Remember you tried to tell me that once before. Drac was telling stories about you. And I told you right there and there. I say he ain't the only one who do that, which I don't know nothing about Drac ever say that wasn't true. I don't know about that. You the one who say that. And I had to highlight it to you that guess what, bro? Everybody does that. And I said it a couple times and you caught the drift and you went on with the conversation because you's the main one who does that. Like about how you like working people and people with careers and all that. Where you get that from? Go back to that clip we did in Bethesda Baptist Church in 1998. Those was the same words I used when I was talking about you get in too deep. Omar Epps was an actor, but he really almost got caught. He ain't know which side he wanted to be on. Remember that? Of course you do. Of course you do. You still want to be me. That's your problem. Always wanted to be me. You's a jealous piece of crap. Man, it's just so much to go on with, man. So much. I mean, and then, you know what? Let's talk about the 18 when you was down with them. You know what? They gave you 3 days a week on a block that was 24 hours operation. 3 days a week, 8 hours a day. Remember that? So you was never no leader of the A team. You probably never say that, but it went to somebody's head, word of mouth, and then everybody run around like you was the leader of the team. You was never the leader of the team. Those boys was doing their own thing. Those men was doing their own thing. You understand? You just got, maybe that's how you got elevated. from running from Queens and being down with the 18 back in 85 before you went to prison. And you probably was making $3,000 a day back then, you know, when you was getting an ounce or two from me. Okay. So I always knew what kind of money you was getting, because until 87, June of 87, you was getting most of your work from me. Okay? Okay. So stop lying, Glaze. Oh, I called you Glaze again. I mean Brian or Bradford. I mean, I guess people in the workforce know you as Bradford, but now you want to go as Brian. All right? I mean, man, go get some of that furniture moved from West Ashley Furniture. Stop being so hard on those dudes in the warehouse. All right? All right. All right, y'all, man. Like I say, this take a lot of energy to do this. And like I say, for all y'all Glaze fans, this might not be for you. I'm sorry I gotta be the bearer of bad news for y'all, that dude's a fraud. A big time fraud. Stop reading that bullshit book. Stop reading it. It's bullshit. Stop wearing his garment. That's bullshit. You understand? He ain't who he want to be. He ain't who he pretend to be. That dude is a cartoon artist. A con man. I'll be back to y'all sometime next week, man. But some of the other things that I got coming for y'all guys, you know, I'm going to go to Brooklyn. And I'm going to go in those hoods. And we're going to talk to some credible people who's out there, who know this dude, and see what the streets got to say about this guy. I mean, really, we're going to do that for y'all. You know, we're going to do stuff that he wouldn't dare do. I'm not going to wait until I get a bill before I go live. You know, like that corny shit he did when he went to New York. He wait till he get a bill, tell the waitress bring the bill, then he went live. You know why? Because he ain't want the people to know his location while he was at the place. That's some corny shit. That's some coward shit. That's some scary shit. You understand? We don't do that. You understand? You know why? Because this face is good in the hood. This face is good all over. Here, wherever I go, this face is good. Nobody got no paperwork on me. I don't got no hidden book. You understand? I got an open book. That he want y'all to think that his shit is open book. If your shit was open book, man, everybody would know. Nobody could come behind you. See, nobody gonna come behind me. Nobody but his clown ass. The only clown that could ever say anything negative about me is that clown. Nobody else could do that. So stay tuned, man. We got some real nice stuff coming for y'all that y'all really be, you know, we got some more paperwork on his ass on some of the people he talked about, like Bimmy. He talking about he could get Bimmy on his show. Bimmy don't know his name is in his paperwork. You know? All right, peace, y'all. My phone's ringing. Peace out.